Very nicely answered, Anna. One more question is, like, should our research, like the future research things, align with the project that we do in the undergraduate? Does it
No,
matter?
absolutely not. Absolutely not. When I was in the fourth year, I was working on making biodiesel, producing biodiesel from soybean oil. And I was working under Durga ma'am. I'm sure you guys know Durga ma'am. What am I doing now? Lungs. Does anyone do lungs in Osmania? No. It never has an impact. But what does it tell, professor? If you have done research in your undergrad, then that means you know how to do research. Someone who knows research, how to do it, will do anything, anywhere, everywhere. If I can do biodiesel, I can do anything, right? Because I know what research is. And knowledge can be acquired. I'm telling you, I'm not one of the smartest people here. There are many other smart seniors than me. There are many smart people than me. If I can do biodiesel and get into lungs and heart, I'm pretty sure any of you can do it. So trust me, it doesn't matter what you do in your bachelor's. Only thing that matters there is how much you've learned, how much world have you seen, right? How mature you are. That's all that matters.
Thank you, Anna.
Array
Yeah,
universities
very,
ranking
very,
scheme
very good
might.
question. Thank you for asking. Who asked that question? Rohit, great question. Okay. Now, the way rankings work is, of course, MIT, Harvard, everyone knows they're the top. The way rankings work is how many international students they have, how many professors have published in great impact factor journals, big impact factor journals, and, of course, what is the scope of job there? Lot of things get into the university ranking. Do not get into that ranking business. Just make sure that the university is decent. How do you make sure the university is decent? Look at the research profile. I think I told this to Rohit. Do not look at the QS rankings, Times Higher rankings. They are erroneous. Rankings are based on how much you pay to those agencies. Of course, MIT, Harvard, these are the top universities. They're always there at the top. But otherwise, the other rankings are, very erroneous. Of course, you can look at the US news rankings. That'll give you a good idea. But no, just because I'm in University of Nebraska Lincoln and someone else is in Northeastern or some other university doesn't make me bad just because I'm here, right? Or if someone gets into other universities which is lower ranked than my university, doesn't mean they are bad. The way university rankings are based on a lot of factors and a lot of things that you do not know what happens behind the curtain. Do not get into all that at this stage. The only way you can judge a university's ranking is by how many professors are doing good research. Then go and look at the professors' citations. How many professors in that department have a citation of more than 1,000? That's a very good metric of knowing how good the university is and how old the university is. When was the chemical engineering department founded in that university? I'll give you an example. I'll give you a great example. My advisor, Dr. Benjamin Terry, did his PhD from University of Colorado Boulder. University of Colorado Boulder is way higher ranked than my university. But his advisor in that university did his PhD from my university. Get the point? My advisor, Dr. Terry, did his PhD in Colorado Boulder, but Dr. Terry's advisor, Dr. Mark, did his PhD from biomedical at University of Nebraska Lincoln. Doesn't matter. And you know what he did? Dr. Mark did his bachelor's in my university, did his master's at MIT, and then came again to this university to do his PhD. Why? It was because he did his PhD in biomedical, but his research area was medical robotics, making robots for surgeries. And he worked under a professor here at my university, Dr. Shane Farrater. He is a top person in his robotics field, but he's at my university. So university doesn't matter. The professor's name matters. The research area matters. For example, my research, I'm not saying my research is great out of the box, but as I said, I work on oxygen microbubbles. There are 6 researchers working in that. One is my professor, the other one is Dr. Borden, and there are 2 other professors at Harvard University in the Boston Children's Hospital. So we have only 5 or 6 people working on OMBs this way. So I'm happy with what I'm doing because my advisor is one of the few who's working on this technology. So the way you decide a university's ranking is how good your professor is in that field. This is how you decide it. You do not get into rankings. Okay, this is 200 thing. You know why? Because if for example, if Vinay gets admission into Colorado Boulder, and now Vinay's junior gets admission into, say Princeton. Now Vinay is going to have restless nights if he thinks about ranking. How I had 8 GPA or 9 GPA, I got into this. That junior fellow has 7 GPA, he got better than me. He'll never sleep. So is this what you're going to do for the next 4 years? No, you can't be doing that. I got like this. That junior useless fellow used to bunk classes, failed in CRE, failed in TP. The Chata fellow is getting where? In that university. How? You'll never be able to live your life. My juniors who failed in CRE got into Northeastern, Boston, here, there. By God's grace, I never failed into anything. Am I supposed to sit and cry over this? No. So you do not look at the university's ranking. Are you happy with your research? I'm happy with my research because I think my professor does great work in this field because I know the field. So know the field, know how good your professor is in that field. You should know the scope of your research. If you do good research in PhD, then you can move on to postdoc. In postdoc, people usually do postdocs in great universities, Harvard, MIT, a lot of places. One of my professors did his postdoc in Imperial College London. Then he did a second postdoc at MIT. So you can get there. So rankings may or may not be legitimate. They're based on how much money you give to the ranking agencies. Rankings can give you a good idea of comparing, but get into that only if you want to, keep being jealous for the rest of your life by your juniors, and your juniors keep flaunting in front of you. They make a nice profile on LinkedIn and, they show that, okay, you know what, I'm in Boston, I'm in this university, I went to Harvard. No, your research is your own. If you want to have good sound sleep, forget it. Now, I showed you a picture of Abhinav. Abhinav, he was the gold medalist. He got into Auburn. Auburn is a good university, but my university is better ranked than that. Now, is Abhinav supposed to go and hit his head on the wall? I was a topper in my field. Riaz was 6th ranker. He got into URL. No. He's happy with this field. His advisor does a great job in MRI. He works on nanoparticles for MRI. He's happy with it. He's doctor. He got a senior research position. So you don't care about rankings. Surya got into RPI. You know what? If he got into RPI, that means I should get into Harvard. Why? Are you comparing? Are you a bull? Are you in a race? No. So rankings, don't get into that. Only find out research, citations. Is the research area good? Appealing to me? Go. At the end of the day, if you get a full funding for PhD in any university in the US, close your eyes and go for it. So people tell you, look at the job, this, that. No. Getting PhD itself is a big achievement on full funding. Don't waste it. Just go. Don't sit and cry about it. And then I have a question, on what basis should we select an advisor on the university? You select an advisor based on 2 things. 1, research area. 2, compatibility. My previous advisor was a nightmare. I had to email him every night before 12 a.m. to tell him, dear Dr. XYZ, today I did this. I cultured cells. I added media. Thank you. Have a nice day. Sometimes if I'm stuck with a research problem and I did nothing, I would have sleepless night. You know why? What do I tell him? Now, he wouldn't reply to my emails because that is his way of telling me I'm not happy with you. So that wasn't an ideal advisor because he was micromanaging, right? My present advisor, we have meetings once a week. He'll ask me, okay, what have you done? Have you hit any roadblock? Are you facing any problems? Let's figure out. Have you done it? Yes. Haven't you done? If you have not done it, it's okay, fine. You have a lot of time to do it. So first thing is research. Second thing is compatibility. You have to speak to the existing students in that lab and ask them, how is the advisor? Too strict? Does he motivate you? Does he keep insulting you? PhD advisors insult you a lot. They make you hate your life. You get into existential crisis. You start hating your face every morning. Shit, I have to go back. Oh my God. I have to go back to that lab again. Oh, I had to drive 100 kilometers every day and then 100 back, 200 kilometers a day. And guess what? 200 kilometers every day. My advisor never wanted me to, he wanted me to be in the lab at 9 and leave at 5 and leave at 6:30. Present advisor doesn't care when I come, where I go. So advisor has to be compatible. There are 2 big decisions in your life as a PhD student. Big decisions that can either make your life happy or ruin it. The first decision is choosing an advisor. The second decision is choosing a partner, husband or wife. Wrong decision, any of those will mess your life. In fact, my previous advisor used to say that the biggest important decision in your life is your advisor. Your wife or husband doesn't matter. You can afford to take a wrong decision there. But if you mess up with your advisor, you waste your life. After you get married anyway, you will have issues. There's of course, all of us know it. It's a fact. Ask your parents, they'll tell you how much suffering they have. But PhD advisor is a really important decision. And how you start is the research quality, and then you find out from the existing students on how good the professor is. That's how you decide. And how do the graduate studies at IITs compare to the universities in US? I haven't been to an IIT, but US system is way better. But the syllabus in India is really strong. I'll give you a small example of that. So you guys have CRE, right? CRE1, CRE2. So in the US, the bachelor student in chemical engineering are only taught CRE1. CRE2 is taught in the first year of PhD or first year of master's. So this is the level. Why? I learned the second part of CRE here again. So my professor asked me, show me your syllabus from UCT. I showed him, he was surprised. Is this how you teach bachelor student? How will they understand? I said, yeah, we understood everything. Transport phenomenon, they don't even touch Bert Stewart Lightfoot. They just teach basic things. We completed the whole book. We completed the whole of Trebal, BK Datta. So our syllabus is very strong, but Americans know how to teach. It may sound harsh, but Americans know how to teach. Of course, Indians also know how to teach, but in America, it's not a race anymore. We don't care about the grades here. It's fine. American classroom is a very casual classroom. You can dress however you want to. You can come and speak to your professor very casually. And you don't call him sir, ma'am. You call him Dr. So-and-so, Dr. So-and-so. I didn't get this. You know what? I think I should be getting 2 more points here, but you reduce my 2 points. So he'll increase it. It's a very casual education system. How does it compare to an IITs? I would say it's way better than IITs. Why? Because you have less stress here. IIT is a pressure cooker. Right? IIT is a pressure. There's a reason you have so many suicide rates. But of course, I don't mean to demean IITs. Great research. More power to them. But how does it compare? Universities in the US are way better because they offer you a chance to think out of the box. I have an idea in mind. I can go and speak to my professor and tell, you know what, I have this idea. Let's make this 3D printed heart. He'll tell, you know what, I have money. Come, let's do it. IIT, go, Nana, go finish off your backlogs first. Complete, get good score. You're not even getting 10 out of 20 in your internals. You want to make heart go. This doesn't happen in the US. So how does it compare? These universities are way better, I would say. Is Australia a good choice for that? No. No. Australia is a good choice if you want to pay and go. You want to pay? Australia has few universities. If you're going to get into top universities, you can. Otherwise, it's not worth spending a lot of money. I would say US or Europe. Try to minimize your cost.
According to you, which is more preferable, going into higher studies or a job? Why?
Research, higher studies, earning, job. If your sole aim is earning more in your life, just go for a job. If research is your passion, go for a research degree. But again, as I said, in masters, you have research and non-research. So if you want a higher job prospects, go for a non-research masters. Otherwise, go to research only if you're interested in research, not for the job prospects, because you'll not do well if you don't like research. Of course, you might, but if you don't have a passion for doing something, why do you want to waste your time in doing it? You wouldn't want to do it, right? So that would be my answer. But people can differ. So,
hey Riaz, I have a comment and then a question. Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, when I talked with you, I don't know, was it like 2.5 years ago, the first time I spoke with you?
Yeah.
Something like that, right? I realized what a fantastic young man you are.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah. And the way you are willing to support, the way, from the first time I spoke with you, you are like, I'm ready to support.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it is. I talked about you many times with my classmates, and we are always like thinking, how could Riaz be like this at 22, 23, you're 24 now, right?
Yeah, 24.
Yeah, at 24, how could he be like this? We were like struggling to figure out who we are, and here he is. So fantastic. The way you have, today's presentation was also very good. So that is what we did with our children also, with my older one. I suffered a lot with my professor My first professor I did masters was Dr. Silver, and I didn't know that he had cancer. And this guy just made my life hell. He used to come back from chemotherapy and he used to think that I am his whipping boy. He can, say anything he wants, do anything he wants.
I can imagine.
Oh, it was one of the hardest times. And then the next professor I had was Dr. Patricia Colbert, and she was an amazing lady. She made my life super easy. She, it was always like she had a smile on her face, and, we were doing really good research work, but it never felt like, a problem. So with Sai, we did the same thing. We always said, don't worry about the, what do you call, brand or the ranking of an institution.
True, I agree to that.
Yeah, and we just said, what is that area you want to do research in? Who is the best in that area? And who really cares about you as a person?
Yeah,
that is and so he's right now working he's doing research at York University in Toronto. And his professor is considered one of the top professors in the world in computer vision.
That's all you need.
Yeah, his ranking, he's like very, very high. He is, I think he produced the highest number of journals, papers in York. I think most, so anyway, he's, I think he's ranked even from a Carnegie Mellon or MIT or anything like that.
He's really prolific.
Huh?
He's very prolific then.
Yeah, he's very, very. He's like about 75% of all the papers that come out of York in that particular area come from him. So he's like, he really likes him, and they have, he's always trying to figure out how to make Sai better. So every week they have a call, and during that call, they talk about what is the goals, everything. And, so he's now Sai saying, Daddy, should I go for, he's doing his master's. Should I go for PhD at MIT? I said, why do you want to do that? You have an amazing professor. Why don't you just do it there and go for postdoc to MIT? So he's now considering doing a PhD right there at York.
That's a good decision. Once you get a really good compatible professor, do not leave the professor for the sake of MIT or Harvard. It's not worth it. And MIT is not the gold standard to anything. I have a professor, Dr. Sangjin Ryu, who graduated from MIT. He said explicitly, I don't want my son to get into MIT because it's a rat race over there.
Yep.
And after he graduated from MIT, he suffered 2 years without a job. So,
wow.
It doesn't mean you have a degree from MIT doesn't mean you're going to get a job. No, it's not like that.
So I have a question for you. See, when we were getting into master's programs and PhDs in 1990, we all got I think 15 or 20 of us got scholarships. Masters also, they were getting scholarships at that time, and PhDs. We had about 5 people go direct for PhDs, and the rest, about 10 of them went to masters. So we all got it. And we had our own methods of saving money because, we were all poor at that time. We didn't have money. So now we have several students from our ESL who are planning to apply. Okay. So your method, you said, is talk to the professors and then only apply is the best way?
Yes, that's the only acceptable way that minimizes time and cost. If you don't care about either of those, you can go ahead and apply to any university you want to.
Okay. Very nice. I think that was, that's how Sai got it too. He didn't get anywhere. Then he sent letters and to the professors, and then the professors looked at his application.
Because if you cannot communicate with the professor, how are you planning to spend the next 4 years with him?
Right. I know.
You're hesitant to send an email, and now you want to sit into the lab meetings and do research for him. Come on, you got to be kidding. You have to email the professor. That's what I tell all my friends, juniors, everyone.
Right. Exactly. So fantastic. Riaz, thank you very much for helping out the students here. And okay.
In fact, I just want to make one more point here. Since I said more about my research, if any of you wants to know more about this oxygen microbubble thing, I can. The reason I'm telling you is my professor just submitted a proposal to NIH, National Institute of Health. And because of the COVID pandemic, there are very high chances it gets approved in October. And the funding would be in millions again. And the moment that happens, we'll be hiring at least one PhD student. And I've already told my professor that I have many people in mind. I just told him, because that person has to be trained under me. So if any of you would be interested at that point, I would let you guys know, and I would be able to recommend one student to come here work under me. That's what we do typically. And I like extending such offers. This is how, as I said, I mentioned many success stories. I do this. People keep telling me, you get the whole of UCT here in Lincoln. We have 6 UCTians here in Lincoln already. So I'm like the brand ambassador for HR, hiring people. So I'm just making an offer. If any of you is more interested in biomedical, I will get in touch with one of you in October. We are very positive it'll get approved. You can continue the work once I graduate. It'll be fully funded. I'm not making a commitment you'll get an admission, but I'll recommend you, so there are high chances you get it, provided you like the area and you want to do it. So,
and this is really good, Riaz. That's what we are doing. One of the things we always try to tell is all the students, not just taking help from Riaz, but you have to help Riaz. So everything we do is, we don't expect, that we have, right now we had someone called Dr. Mahinder. He is doing a fantastic research work in India, in Hyderabad. He wants to impact 500 crores of people by the age of by 2030. He's already doing amazing work in villages and everything. And we are not going there saying, hey, we have to somehow get some project from him. We are going to him saying, how can we help you reach your goal? Yeah. Because once you say that, then there is a learning mindset, right? There is like, you are humble, you are willing to learn. So you will notice that we really work on those value system here in our research. So, we will definitely support you and also the alumni. I and many of the alumni. If you need any support from in any way, please ping me.
Absolutely. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah. Also, one last thing I totally forgot. If any of you at this point is interested in a PhD, and if you can get your application in for chemical engineering within 3 days, then you'll have really high chances of getting a full funded PhD if you get your application in within 3 days, which is tough. So, because my department, I spoke to the graduate chair recently. We were trying to get admission from my junior Pranavi. So I met with one of the professors in chemical engineering, and I told him my junior wants admission. She said he told me if she can get her admission application in within 3 hours, I would give her admission. I went to my office. I did her application. I and Pranavi. Pranavi was at ITC. It was 2:00 in the night. We filled up the application. She got a Zoom call the next day, and the graduate chair told her, if you commit for a PhD, at the end of the Zoom call, I'll give you full funding and admission letter. She said, no, she wants masters. So I'm just saying, if any of you can get your admission in within 3 days, you have really good chances of getting a PhD admission. But of course, don't rush into it. I'm just telling you, not to take wise decisions. Also, one more thing, whatever, I'm a human being, I'm not infallible, right? There can be things that I say wrong. Always take inputs, do your own research, combine that research with the inputs, and then come up with a conclusion. Never listen to one side of the story. There can be things that, of course, every human being is biased, right? I would love my research. I would love my university. Take input from 100 people, and then the 10 people who make sense to you, base your conclusions on what they say. Never just listen to one person, okay? People can be biased, and I'm no exception. So just saying, always listen to more people and do your own research. Your research has to be there. You find out the universities, you find out the professors, and then take input from the seniors. If you take input only from the seniors and do nothing on your own, you get nowhere. If you do everything on your own, no input, you still get nowhere. We coexist because of each other. If you think you can exist on your own, there's something wrong with you. We all coexist. That's why when you reach a certain stage, look behind, try to pull people up there where you stand. First pull people and then push people up. So you always have to do is either drag people up to where you are or push people, at a level higher than where you are. So that's how we work. That's how the world functions. So let's not make an exception to it. Okay.
So
any more
just
questions?
To add a comment. Just to add a comment.
Sure.
Yeah, so thanks very much for the presentation, and thank you for being passionate and compassionate right from the start of our conversation. So
absolutely, my pleasure.
Very much. Thank you very much, Anna. So
sure.
Yes. So like
Yeah,
what are the
and always
specialization
available.
we may have in masters and PhD?
What's that?
Like what are the specializations we have in masters or PhD as far as in chemical engineering or
So
other related areas?
So if you get into chemical engineering, then your degree will always be masters in chemical engineering. Your specialization is based on what research you do. Okay, so your research is your specialization. What is my specialization? My specialization is biomedical devices, lung injury. That's my specialization. The specialization is your research. So it depends on what research you do. Of course, to answer your question, biomedical could be a specialization. Petroleum engineering could be a specialization. Drug discovery could be a specialization. Immunology is a specialization. A lot of specializations. So also, if someone wants to become a medical doctor at this point, you can apply for an MD PhD position. That takes 7 years. First 2 years, MD. Next 3 years, PhD. Last 2 years, MD. Within 7 years, you'll be a doctor. You'll have a medical degree and a PhD degree. I applied for that. I got approved. But the problem was I was already in a PhD program at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. So they said, you're already in the second year of PhD. At this point, we cannot let you transit. So my advisor wrote a petition, which got approved. But then the graduate chair responded saying, we don't have a syllabus or a framework to let you slide. Complete your PhD and then apply for an MD. I'll get old, 30, 32. So, but not a lot of people know. In the US, you can get into medical field also. After chemical engineering, you can directly apply to an MD PhD program. You get paid a lot. You get $3,000 stipend per month. $3,000 is times 70. How much? I don't know. 2 lakhs, I think. 2.5 lakhs per month. That's your stipend. So at the end of 7 years, you'll be MD PhD. That's a big thing. Not a lot of people can do that. So you'll have bachelor's in chemical engineering. You'll have PhD in biomedical engineering. Plus you'll be a medical doctor. So that's one option. If any of you is that crazy to get into it, then go for it. But make sure you're crazy. Only a crazy person can do that. You have to be crazy enough to do it and ruin your life and end everything. That's when. If you're the only person not planning to marry and not have kids and things like that, go for it. Yeah, you have to delay starting a family until 35 years of that, because 7 years of this plus 10 years of fellowship and resident, it takes 15 years to become a full certified professional medical doctor here in the US. So by the age of 40, when your friends have 2 kids, one of them is in 6th or 7th standard, that's when you get married. If you want to do that and become bald, lose hair and things like that, then go for it. But that is an option, just to let you know. That's a crazy one, but it's there. So doctor, yeah. Any other questions? And I'm always available by WhatsApp. Send me an email. I might get lazy sometimes and respond late, but I think Tejasri texts me. I'm pretty good with texting her back. I reply to Rohit in an instant, right, Rohit? He'll reply, and within the next 3 or 4 seconds, I reply to him.
Timing changes. No.
What's that?
Hello, I'm Tejasri.
Yeah, go ahead. Hi, Tejasri. How are you?
Yes, no, I'm good. I get complete clarity on whatever your research and how what are the steps to forward. So presently, being a third year student, what are the things we should focus on to building our resume?
At third year, the only thing you should be doing right now is to make sure that your GPA is not falling. The first thing. Second thing is, this is the right time to know what universities, where to go. This is when you start. So you start researching in 3-1. And 3-1, you'll have a lot of things going on in your life. One is you'll start hating your life. Second is you'll start worrying about your life. Oh shit, after I graduate, what, job or no? Oh my God, what happens? He got into Gates, Surya got into this shit, I'm going crazy. So this is all a part of your third year life, okay? You have to deal with it. So first thing would be, what do you want to do? If the answer is master's in the US, the next step is which university? Third step, what research? Fourth step, GPA on track. And 3-2 is when you start getting a letter of recommendations on time. Our professors are great at giving letter of recommendations. They're so great, they just don't give it. So you have to be behind them all the time. They don't give it. They make you cry for it. Our professors make you cry for letter of recommendations. So this is what you should be doing in your third year. And no matter what, in whatever phase of life, whatever phase of bachelor's you are or BTech you are in, your GPA is very important. Do not take it lightly. Your GPA is what will get you admissions. You like it or not, you believe it or not, your GPA is your ticket. Without your GPA, even your research is not going to matter. So your professor is going to say, you know what, your research is good, but Baba, you don't even know mass transfer. You don't know CRE. You failed in all of them. What will you do in my lab? Got it? So GPA, to answer Tejasri's question at this point, two things. Which country, which university, GPA. That's it. By the
Thank
end
you.
of 3-2, you should know three things. One, what university you're going to apply, which professor you want to work under, and how you're going to get there. You should have an answer by the end of 3-2 for this. If you start at 3-2 and 4-1, it's still fine. But at least by the end of 4-1, you should know the answer to all these questions. And I typically like emailing professors in 4-1. You start emailing professors towards the middle of 4-1. So before the fest, you should have emailed a lot of professors. By the time we reached Technosmania, I had 2 admissions in hand, one from Missouri and the other one from somewhere else. So that's how it worked. It brightens your fest. Of course, there's no fest because of COVID. I'm sorry for that. But by the end of 4-1, you should have answers to everything. It's never too late to decide. You know, even if you don't get admission after a year, don't get depressed, you can apply again. But you should at least start the process, right? Don't be a blind man walking in the dark. You should know what you're doing. Take help from people. And one more thing is never, ever be jealous of each other. Rohit applied. You know what? Rohit applied to 3 universities already. I don't even have my LORs. Rohit's life is different. You have a different life. Rohit might be having different constraints. You don't have those constraints, right? His life might be a different one. How can you compare? Just because he got it. I'll tell you one last story before I go. I showed you my friend, Chandrasekhar. Both of us, very good. We are the kind of guys you call chatty buddy. So I, Chandrasekhar, and 2 of my other friends used to sit in the first row. And Ajit sir was always come and tell them, you, that end, you, this end, you out of the class. Because we were a nuisance in the class. Our previous principal, when I went to ask him permission for Technosmania, so the previous principal asked me, you're coming here for permission. Whenever I see you're out of the class, because I like taking a walk in the class. So they used to tell me, you sit in the class, you're a big headache, you don't let me teach. So Basara sir used to ask me to, are you coming or are you going out? So we had a lot of fun. So my best friend Chandrasekhar and I, we all did this entire master's GRE thing together. Basara sir went to USA, to West Virginia University, because he knows a professor there, Dr. Debangsu Bhattacharya. He's the professor under whom Basara sir's daughter worked. So he recommended me for a full funded master's position to that professor. He came back and informed me of that decision. I was very happy, but I said, sir, I and Chandrasekhar have been trying hard. I'm not going to go alone. Then I made Basara sir recommend Chandrasekhar also. Now guess what? When both of them applied, he got the admission. I was rejected. I was rejected from that university, West Virginia, 3 times. When I got rejected the 3rd time, Chandrasekhar called me and he cried. His mom called me and she cried because we have a family bond with each other. So my best friend, the original recommendation was for me, but he got it. Why? Fate, his hard work. Should I sit here and be jealous? How can he get it? I am smart. He's not even smart enough. No, you don't do this. You push people, but you make sure you do your hard work. But I did my hard work, right? I finally got it. I got it exactly 4 months after he got it, but I still got it, right? So it doesn't work that way. You're going to spoil your life if you sit and be jealous. Surya got it, I did. He got it, I didn't. Of course, whoever gets it, be happy for them. Commendable job. Congratulate them. Learn from them. Don't sit and cry for them. He is smart, I am not. Arey, how ba? I take gate coaching. I am the smarter one, right? Basara sir likes me more, right? I am the best one here. How did he get admission? No, it doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. Got it? So main important thing is this. If you have mental peace, you can do anything in your life. You're simply going to ruin your mental peace if you're only busy thinking who got into which university, is their rank better than mine? Nobody cares. Nobody cares over there, right? In my university is in Lincoln. Lincoln is one of the cheapest states is the cheapest cities in the US. I get the same stipend as my friend in Boston. Boston is the most expensive one. If I get $2,000 here, I will save $1,000. In Boston, you'll spend $500 more. So you see, everything has pros and cons. A bigger state will be more expensive. Smaller state will be, maybe less ranking of the university, but standard of living is good or whatever it is. Pros and cons of everything. So never compare. Be happy. And you cannot change it, right? I got into UNL. Just because someone gets in Harvard, am I supposed to cry now? What can I do? Leave this PhD and try and go look for Harvard? No, it's one life. It's over. There's nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. So never get into that. Yeah, initially as a human being, we all have jealousy. Every human being is jealous, right? But a failed human being is one who gets that jealousy get into his or her way. I like my research. As long as I like my research and my advisor, I don't care who gets into MIT. I don't care. Of course, Rohit can get into MIT. I'll congratulate him. Great guy. But I'm still going to wake up smiling, go and work on oxygen bubbles, inject them in the stomachs of rats and pigs. I don't care. Because ultimately, I know what happens with me in the future is how good these micro bubbles turn out, right? So I don't care, nor should you. Don't worry about the rankings. Don't worry who gets into which university. Don't even listen to them. If someone is coming and flaunting in your face, okay, Mastara, no, Topra, that's it. End the talk. That's it. Just congratulate them. If they're egoists, let them satisfy their ego. Let them go. Be happy in your life. You don't have to compare. PhD admission, fully funded, big thing. Big thing. People were telling me, as soon as one of your seniors or someone got PhD admission, he was all over the news, right? He got it. When we were there, nobody would talk. You know why? So many got it. How many people will you congratulate? So yeah, trust me, it's a very big thing. Tell your cousins, nobody would believe it. Full funding in a US university, come on. As I said, Osmania's rank is 1,960 or something. Now it must be 3,000. And my university's rank is 233. 233 versus 3,000. Compare the difference. So any university is ultimately going to be better than Osmania, don't worry. Just be happy. Got it? And you can always reach me by email or text. I'm pretty good with texts. Although I'm busy, I'm pretty good with text. So I will always guide. You can ask me which university can I apply. Can you recommend me? If I can recommend, you have a good track record. If I can recommend you to a professor in my department, I'll more than happily do it. I will always do it. I don't say no to anyone. I will always do it. But just because I recommend doesn't mean admission is guaranteed. It just means that the professor is going to go and read your email. A professor gets thousands of emails every day. If I go to the professor and say, you know what, my friend Deepthi emailed you, he's going to leave the 999 emails and read Deepthi's email. That's the only thing that a recommendation does. It removes your file from the bottom, puts it on the top. And as soon as Deepthi's profile is good, the other 999 go into the trash. That's what a recommendation does. After he opens Deepthi's email, it's Deepthi's fate and the professor's fate. Riaz has no role to play. The only thing Riaz can do is get your file on the top. That's it. Fair, unfair, I don't know. Life is never fair anyway, right? Is life fair? World is fair. Is world fair? No. World is not fair. If I'm at a good position, then I'll definitely pull people I know. I don't care. World has not been fair to me. Why am I going to be fair with the world? I don't care. World is never fair. So don't expect anything fair in the world. World is never fair. Accept it. As soon as you accept it, your life is going to be good. We cannot be fair to the world. The world is not fair to us. Doesn't mean you do stupid things. Doesn't mean you do wrong things. Always do good things, right way. Don't trouble people. Don't take someone else's share. But also don't expect life to be fair to you. Life is never fair to you. Life is always unfair. Life was unfair to me when I didn't get admission, right? Life was unfair to me 24 times. Only 2 times it was fair, I got it. So life is unfair. So don't expect fairness in the world. It doesn't happen. Sorry. Yep. Any other questions?
Thank you, Anna, for your wonderful presentation and saying about everything. Anyone else have any other questions?
Any other questions? Just text me on WhatsApp. As I said, pretty good with replies. Any questions? Yeah, good luck. Good luck with your life, whatever you want to do.
We have a gratitude card, Anna, from gratitude team. I will show you.
That's really sweet of you guys. And yeah,
I think your 2013 to 2017 batch is so compassionate.
Our batch was nice. That's really sweet. Just send that to me. I will share it on my link, LinkedIn. And also, at this point, you should have your LinkedIn profile set up. You won't have much to write, but it's a nice time to, get to know people. One other way, sorry, I'm taking your time. One other way you can get to know about PhD positions is LinkedIn. Follow professors. Professors post about their PhD openings. If you were civil engineering, I would have recommended 4 openings to you right now. But yeah, so LinkedIn is a great platform. Go and follow everyone. I follow 682 people. Just follow 1,000 people. Don't care. But yeah, thank you so much. I really love the gratitude card. And if someone could just send it to me on WhatsApp, I'd keep it and like to share it.
Sure, Anna.
Yeah,
We'll
definitely, Anna. We should send you.
Yep. So good luck. And, Shravan sir was telling me about the research thing. If I want to give a talk, just let me know when and where. I'll be more than happy to come. Call me as many times as you want. Some people make fun. They say, you know what? He doesn't have time. I don't care. I have time. I'll make time for you. So don't worry. You have to give back to your college, right? You're not giving money, but the least you can do is guide fellow young students. I was never given that guidance. That's why I had to suffer 2 semesters. I wish some senior told me this is how you do it. But I'm telling you, you can take feedback from many other professors. But just don't listen to seniors who tell you 2 things. One, GPA is not important. Second, it's easy to get admissions in the US. If you have any senior telling you these 2 things, make that the last time you invite the senior to speak, okay? Because it's a lie. It's difficult to get funded admissions. You go nowhere if your GPA is low. If your GPA is low, it's okay, not the end of the world. Do something else to make your profile bigger. Okay, do something. It's not the end of the world. Do research. But if they tell you, no GPA, no nothing, just go apply. No, it's not charity here. They're not donating here. It's not blanket donation drive here. We're not going to Secunderabad railway station and giving chai to poor people there. No, this is not charity in the US. There are millions of applicants like you from all over the world. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Syria, Somalia, Africa, everywhere. You have to be competitive. If your GPA is low, it's okay. Work hard, write a good SOP, do research, come up with ideas. The least you can do is write a review article. And how do you write a review article? I don't know if someone wrote a review article. Review article, for example, what is the biggest thing right now in the field of engineering? Any idea?
E-vehicles. One of them is e-vehicles, right?
E-vehicles, but yeah, one more thing. There's something called artificial intelligence, machine learning.
Yeah, of course. There.
Yeah, artificial intelligence, machine learning is mass transfer operations in distillation, something. Write an article. That's it. Review articles. Get in touch with the faculty. Tell Basara sir. Basara sir has pretty good contacts. Go write research articles. Your GPA is low, write research articles. Your GPA is low, tell Basara sir, sir, I want to do a reactive distillation project in the MTO lab. I did that. Do it. Well, what's stopping you? Your GPA. GPA is only one thing, right? You can get a lot of other things. If you don't use these use your professor's knowledge, okay? If you have a low GPA, it's okay. You don't have to go and jump from the terrace. A lot of things you can do. Go do research. It's okay. Life is good. You'll end up somewhere. All of us are smart enough. So you'll end up somewhere doing something in your life. Don't worry. Don't be disheartened. GPA is not the only criteria of your life. You don't get research degree, you'll end up somewhere. Don't worry. All of us end up somewhere. All of us do something with our life. Some of them do stupid things. Some of them do good things. All of you seem smart. You'll do something with your life. Don't worry. Okie dokie.
Yeah, no. It's vote of thanks time.
Okay.
Yeah. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver vote of thanks for this Thop talk to all the dignitaries assembled here. I would like to thank our beloved speaker, Mr. Riaz Rahman Mohammed sir, for attending this session and letting us know about the graduate studies and importance of PhD. I would like to thank Shravan sir, seniors, and my dear friends for attending this session and making it more interactive. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. It was fun interacting with you.
Thank you so much, Anna. It's really spectacular.
Thank you so much.
Spectacular.
Yeah, think about
we
it.
really don't know. Pretty sure
Mhm.
that how 1.5 hours went off fast. The flow
Yeah.
is really amazing.
It's a lot of
Thank
time,
you so
yeah.
much, Anna.
But don't worry, sometimes 1.5 hours is worth it because you get to know what you have. Now you know what to do, right? Of course, now you can look into it, speak to many other people. As I said, what I say doesn't have to be true all the time. I can be biased. But now you have a direction, right? Now just go along your journey. Okay. And as I said, in October, I might get in touch with someone, just one person who's really interested. If you want to do, by that time, if you get a better university, good, just go for it. But I will definitely leave a message and ask someone by the month of October if someone's interested. And if any other professor is interested in biomedical or chemical, I'll let one of you know. And I can definitely recommend at least one student this year for PhD. So let's see how that works. Okay. I'll keep in touch. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.